My name is Gus Olson, and today I'm going to be breaking down one of my infields so you can actually understand what am I doing when I'm talking to women in real life. I think this is going to be very, very valuable. This has been requested by many of my subscribers and students, so let's get started. So I approach this girl and I do the regular opener, a direct opener, and I tell her that I saw her over there and I had to come and say hi. And I'm going to play now, and the conversation begins here.
You're very intense with your music session or podcast, potentially listening at.
Okay, so I just comment on what I noticed because I was noticing that she was listening to a music and she had a very tense face. So I basically just say what I see. And if you can see here, I also pause because she had AirPods on. So I saw that she was actually gonna go and turn down the volume or stop the music. And a lot of guys would just keep going and they wouldn't even acknowledge that the girl's about to stop. I can see that she's going to stop the music. I also pause and wait for her to essentially engage and me the full attention.
Potentially listening at Joe Rogan.
So I said Joe Rogan because clearly she's not listening to Joe Rogan, but I think it's a funny joke. And as you can see,
I can see your.
she immediately starts laughing because even though she's probably not listening to Joe Rogan, she probably knows who he is. Because I mentioned that comment, mentioned Joe Rogan, she starts laughing, and we already have a bit of a playful vibe going on.
In a very intense podcast, but I had to come and say hi.
So that was the whole preamble. This is why I'm talking to you. I didn't say, hey, I came here because you're so pretty. I did statement of intent. I thought you looked nice, but I made it original with I thought you looked intense, maybe listening to Joe Rogan.
Hi.
You know, you seemed very white with your dress.
So here, again, I'm just continuing. Okay, what do I see? She's clearly wearing a white dress, so that's what I'm gonna keep going with. And I'm gonna try to pick up some conversational threads from there.
Yes,
Like a
but
Snow White.
I'm not so white. Look, I'm tanned actually.
You're tan with a chili.
Okay, so she says that she's tanned, and I also noticed that she has a chili. So that's potentially a thread that I'm gonna try to see if maybe we can go there with the chili.
Yes, I have two. That's why I'm here.
Oh, you're spicy.
Okay, so this is what I've talked about in the associations video. So what can we associate chili with? Well, chili is pretty spicy. So if she's wearing a chili, she might be a very spicy girl. We don't want to just go and at this point, a lot of guys would just start asking boring questions. Where are you going? What are you doing? Are you shopping right now? This is very boring. So we need to drive the conversation forward. And this is why we're doing assumptions and we're seeing chili and associating chili is a spicy girl. So I'm accusing her essentially of being a spicy girl.
You're a spicy girl.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
should be careful then.
Okay, so if she's a spicy girl, that means that things can erupt, right? So I potentially should be a bit careful. This is all just playing, guys.
Yes,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I like spicy. You know, it's like
yeah.
I mean, sometimes you have to drink water.
So I'm not sure if you noticed that, the push-pull, slight push-pull. So I like spicy, but you have to drink water afterwards. It's a bit of a compliment, but it's not like, oh my God, I love spicy women. I love spicy energy because that's too much. So yeah, I like spicy. I mean, you have to drink water afterwards. So kind of like chill and showing intent, but not overly being too desperate or needy.
Where
After
from?
me.
Okay, so she already asked me a question very early on in the conversation. So what we want to do in these conversations when we reach the hook point, right? So if she asks you a question, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's hooked, but it's a good sign. A lot of guys also tell me in these videos, why do I ramble so much? Why do I talk so much in the beginning of the conversation? Because the girl doesn't want to answer questions from a stranger. So in the beginning, before the hook point, before the girl shows that she's interested in you, you have to do most of the talking. Now she's starting to asking me questions, which signals she's interested, she's hooked, and now the dynamic switch of the conversation.
Latvia.
Ah, Latvia. Wow.
Yeah.
Are you guys eating spicy there?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're from Mexico.
Okay, so she asked me double question, which is good. You're from Latvia, you're eating spicy there. Now I can ask a bit more questions because she already asked me a question, and now we can get to know each other a bit, like vibe.
No, actually, no. I'm from Romania.
Romania. Okay. Spicy as well.
Very spicy.
So as you can see that I'm always using the callback humor I'm always using the fact that we talked about early in the conversation to essentially customize our conversation. I don't want to just be, oh, Romania, that's in Eastern Europe, because I can say that with any person. But now the spicy thing, that's something in between us, and that's something specific for us. And again, it makes the conversation more personal and enjoyable for both parties.
Spicy, yeah, I can see. I mean, not only one chili, but two.
So yeah, this is actually from Italy, from Naples. You know, like it's
So it's good. So this is a specific story that she obtained this chili in Italy. And whenever a girl is telling you a specific thing like that, it means that she's comfortable sharing details about her, which is obviously a good sign.
Oh shit.
So this one was a bit random. She dropped her AirPods. Sometimes random stuff is going to happen, so you have to react on the fly. Now, I've only known this girl for 1 minute, but I felt like it was the right thing to do just to pick up her AirPods, even though technically I'm a stranger, so,
see what
touching stuff.
happened.
Yeah. You're getting distracted by the conversation.
Again, commenting with humor, you're getting distracted. It's like slight comments like that. I'm showing intent that I'm not afraid to admit, hey, I can see that this is a flirting situation going on. And a slight tease, right? You're dropping AirPods, getting distracted.
Yes,
You're like
yes,
dropping
these
your
are
AirPods.
Uh-huh. Yeah, in Italy this means good luck. So yeah, but it should be gifted, not you can't buy.
Now she's qualifying herself, explaining about herself, which again is good whenever a girl's justifying or talking about her situation or explaining you what she has or what she's doing. It's usually good because if she wouldn't really be interested in you, why would she explain you all those things?
Buy it by herself.
Okay. So I cannot just go and buy it. I need to wait for someone to buy it.
Exactly, correct,
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Well, you already, if we reach the stage of gifting, you already know.
Again, so notice how I always bring things back to us flirting because she is talking about the gift that she had. And then I said, oh, okay, well, if you and me, we reach the stage of gifting, we already know what to give each other. Always bringing it back to this flirtatious aspect of the conversation.
What you can give me.
Oh
like,
my God, okay. Yeah, that's very
good, that's
kind
good.
gift actually.
Yeah,
That's
chili.
Yes.
Okay, and then someone gave you this chili,
Yes.
and then you was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna tattoo
No,
another one.
tattoo is very.
So I just noticed the tattoo. I switched the conversation thread a bit to the tattoo.
Old. This I just got it last week.
Okay,
But
last
this
week.
has 4 years, I think.
In Italy, you said you got this in Italy.
The tattoo.
So I'm genuinely curious at this point. Where is it that you got this from? I'm trying to get to know her, right? And again, because the hook point happened quite early in the conversation, we can sort of have this get to know each other type of conversation relatively early, but sometimes it doesn't happen. So you need to flirt much more than I'm doing here. But at this point, it's going well. So I'm literally just getting to know her as if we were, let's say, on a date.
Tattoo.
No,
This it was from Italy, but I was here. I mean, a friend of mine bought it from Italy.
Okay,
Yes,
interesting.
yes,
And when I came over here, you were very intense, like listening to something.
What do you mean with intense? I mean, I was just walking.
intense. No, but you're listening to something.
Yeah, of course.
So it wasn't Joe Rogan.
So again, I need to switch the conversation thread, but instead of doing it randomly and instead of doing a 90 turn and just where do you go to school with no context, I go back to what we spoke initially in the conversation that I initially approached because she was listening to something. And that's how I can keep and adding new threads to the conversation without being too random.
No, actually, it was a Mexican song.
I was a Mexican
No,
song.
that's
Almost
so-
the same thing.
almost-
Almost the same thing. Almost the same thing.
Almost.
It's like Joe Rogan Mexican song.
Kind of.
So you like Mexican songs? It's you're kind of like passionate. You have speaking about Italy, about chilies, about.
So here I'm basically just drawing some patterns, assumptive patterns. So I noticed you have a Chile, Mexico. You must be a very passionate person then. And then she can comment, either she is or she isn't, and give me a justification. And this is another way of getting to know her rather than just saying, oh, are you really passionate?
Mexico.
Yes,
You have this like.
I travel a lot. Yeah.
I travel a lot.
Yes.
That's good. Me too.
Are you?
Yeah. Traveling is good.
Are you on holidays here?
No.
Again, I invited this one a little bit because she says, I travel a lot. I said, me too. And it was like a mini bait. And now she has to ask, oh, so where are you traveling? Again, whenever a girl is investing and trying to get to know you, it's a very good sign.
I live here for
Ah,
2
you
years.
live here.
I travel, but I like to kind of stop at some places
Ah, okay.
to get more out of it, you know? I don't just like to go for a day and then move on. I like to kind of
Where did you
explore.
live?
Very good. So obviously, at these kind of conversations, it's very important that the girl gets to know you, because if we're ever going to transition this to a potential date, then it's going to be very unlikely she comes on a date if she knows nothing about you. But for her to know stuff about you, she needs to be interested in asking you about your life. And this is very good because she keeps stacking the questions. And you don't want to stack the questions, but if the girl is stacking questions, that is a very good sign because she is curious about you, and that means that she likes you.
Or
So I lived before, it was in US, then UK. I studied in the UK,
okay.
and then I went to Madrid, and then Barcelona. So
Boring.
boring, you don't.
So here I'm essentially using just my life situation to show that I'm a cool, interesting guy. I've traveled around the world. And if you don't have specifically that, you can use other life experiences to demonstrate that you're a cool guy, trustworthy guy. You do something interesting. Again, it doesn't have to be anything super impressive. I just named some countries that I've lived in, but still, that's pretty cool, right? I've lived and traveled in different places, and then that she can make conclusions from that. He's traveler, open-minded, adventurous. Instead of just telling girls all this, you show her by your experiences.
Didn't like it.
I love it, but it doesn't have the beach, so no, I love Madrid.
But the beach is like,
Okay, this is very important. A lot of guys, what they would have said here is they would have just, oh, beach, because the girl said, I like the beach. So a lot of guys would just immediately agree, oh my God, yeah, I love the beach too. But actually, for me personally, I don't really like the beach. I don't go there that often. So I actually show my opinion. I'm not trying to be mean by disagreeing, but again, I'm showing my actual opinion that I don't think the beach is that good, and I give a reason. And you don't have to agree with girls all the time. In fact, what they want you to do is they want you to have an actual opinion so they can discuss things with you rather than just agreeing with whatever the girl says and building this fake rapport.
I think beach is overrated. Actually, like everyone
No,
talks
it's the
about the
mood.
beach.
It's not that you go on the beach. I don't go on the beach in Barcelona, but it's about the mood, you know.
It's about the mood. What do you mean?
I don't know. I live in for example, so every morning I go for a run. I go to
I don't know what I'm doing here. I guess I'm just distracted because we filmed a few infields that day. So I yeah, this probably is something that I shouldn't have done.
swim. So it's like, this energy of the sea is very good in the morning at least.
Okay,
So it's not that going there and lying on the beach, but yeah, it's very healthy. I think
healthy.
to have it next to you. Yeah, I mean, I'm a very beach person or island person. I don't know.
You're a very person.
Okay, so this one was just a joke. She kind of gave me on the platter. So beach, bitch, just joking with words.
beach.
Ah,
Yes.
beach person. I was like, holy, that's quite intense.
Well, also could be.
Okay, cool. So beach is very important for you. Chilies are important for you.
Yes.
So I have already the two things.
Again, so summarizing what she's saying, I think it's a good way to keep the conversation going, but also just to show that, look, I've listened to you and I understand you as a person. And people want to be understood no matter in business or just in dating. If you can show that you understand and you have actually listened to them, it makes them feel good and it puts you in a very good position to take things forward.
You know, beach, chili, Mexican songs. You know.
Yeah,
It's,
I usually go. I stay in for the season in winter,
Okay.
so that's why Mexico.
Okay.
I stay between Barcelona and.
That's good. That's good. So Romania. Where do you think? Well, I already told you where I'm from.
So again, this one, as I said, I was getting a little bit distracted and because I was going to say, oh, where do you think I'm from? But I already told her where I'm from, which is a mistake from my part if I would have said it, because if I would have said it, that would mean that I'm not present to the conversation and I'm somewhere else. So try to be present in your conversations and don't try to think about other things. And this is really difficult when you're nervous. You're trying to see, okay, what is she going to say next? Or what are other people doing? But try not to focus on that. Just focus on the girl in front of you and try to be present.
Yes.
Cool. We should go for a drink sometime.
So we reached the point in the conversation. I probably could have done this earlier, but like we need to actually take this conversation forward. It's on a good note. So look, let me ask you for a drink. And again, what most guys would do, they would just say, oh, so can you give me your Instagram? But you don't want to say that because You don't want her Instagram. You want to have a drink with her. So Instagram is just a logistical tool that you're going to use to keep in touch until you go to the date. But it's not the thing that you want. So ask for what you want. You want to have a drink with her.
I think we can continue this
You're
banter.
sweet. You make me laugh.
And she's actually laughing.
I'm
We
sweet.
should.
Yeah,
go.
we should. We
It's
should.
not even a question.
So, guys, this is the perfect example of why girls love confidence. I said we should go for a drink. And it's not even that big of a deal, but because most guys would say, hey, can you give me your Instagram or do you want to have a drink sometime? Then this actually stands out from the crowd. And this comes out very confident. As you can see, she clearly likes it. So she's testing me right now. It's not even a question.
I mean,
It's like a decision.
you want me to act like
A lot of guys could start explaining yourself or justifying yourself too much. Oh, no, I mean, I didn't mean that. I just, if you want to. And then that might actually mess things up a little bit. Here, what you want to do when a girl slightly challenges you, just stay non-reactive. Like, what, you want me to give you a proposal? You want me to give you some sort of business agenda?
you want me to act like a proposal, like
Well,
get on
yes.
one knee, and
Why
say,
not?
hey,
I mean, like,
really?
it's like already an order that I.
I'm just exaggerating now. Should I get you one knee to give you like a real marriage proposal?
We should go for a trip.
Nah, it's just a suggestion. I just felt I
Look, it's a suggestion. You can take it or leave it. I just felt a good vibe.
felt a good vibe. You know? It's not like an
I like your
order.
confidence anyway.
Okay, so she even said it. I like the confidence,
I
right?
like the confidence. Yeah, I mean, it's not. I'm not like a U.S. Marshal, you know, delivering orders.
Okay.
I actually could have said I'm actually like a U.S. Marshal. That was a line that's I could have skipped. But anyways, that's pretty much it for the video. As you can saw, confident and paying attention to what the girl is wearing, what she's doing, summarizing certain aspects of the conversation and keeping it flowy. And again, playing with the associations of the things that you have mentioned are the keys to drive this conversation forward. As you can see, the confidence is quite attractive from the girl's perspective. So if you enjoyed this video, we actually have a private community with guys all over the world doing day game like this, where we help each other, we chat, and we jump on monthly calls to help each other out. If you're interested in this or other help, then you can book a diagnostic call below and we can talk about how to help you as well. See you in the next video.